but I'm sitting at my desk because I just discovered this old blog post I wrote literally 10 years ago today, and it is about turning 20, and it made me laugh a lot. So it says, "Today is 1 week from my birthday. This birthday is different from any birthday I've ever had or probably will have. I'm excited because I'm moving to a whole new level. I won't be a teenager anymore. I'll be 2 decades old. And I'm apprehensive because I'm moving to a whole new level. I will be a real adult. I'll be old."
Paper towel and a cup of water to wash the paintbrush off.
Dark and you can't see me super well, but I look really cute today in my new shirt I got for my birthday. So I thought we would just grab a cup of tea or coffee and have a little chat. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Emily, the Minimalist Mama, and today we are just having a little coffee or tea chat about turning 30. I went back and forth on whether or not to do this type of a video, but then I finally decided turning 30 is kind of a big deal, so I thought we should talk about it. So settle in with a warm beverage, some tea or coffee or hot chocolate if you prefer, and let's just chat. First of all, it is a really weird year to turn 30 of all years. This year was our 10-year anniversary and my 30th birthday, and suffice it to say that none of my big plans for celebrating this year have happened. We were supposed to finally go to Europe, and one of my best friends from growing up and I were both turning 30 this year, so we had talked about trying to do something together, some kind of a big trip. That's not happening, obviously. So It's been a weird year. The coronavirus, first of all, and just unrest and things happening. It's been kind of hard to feel very celebratory, if I'm being honest. There's that on top of it, and then usually around my birthday I'm very self-reflective and morose to begin with. So I like to do a lot of life reflection and that kind of thing, and with this milestone birthday, I have some mixed feelings about it, I guess I should say. For one thing, I've been looking forward to turning 30 since I was 20. I've just always felt like my mental age, my internal age didn't match up with my actual age. I always felt like I was internally 30 already, but was just younger. So I've been looking forward to turning 30 because then it seemed like finally my actual age would match my internal age, how I actually feel. So that part of it is really exciting. And it really actually does feel true. I feel like a 30-year-old inside and out. But with all of the sort of self-reflection and that kind of thing I've been doing, it's interesting to see like where I thought I would be by the time I turned 30 versus where I am. And basically, and I'm sure this is probably the case with about everyone, I never could have predicted the path my life would take or where I would be. So there's some mixed feelings about that, of like wondering, you know, what if things had been different, or what if I had made some different choices, and then also appreciating and being really grateful and happy with choices that I have made and the way things turned out. I guess I thought too, I had this idea that when I turned 30, or by the time I turned 30, I would just be so confident in myself and self-assured and wouldn't worry about what people thought of me anymore, and would just be at peace with myself and my life and everything around me, and be really established and in a career and all of that. And that hasn't happened. And maybe it's more that instead of thinking that that stuff needs to happen by 30, maybe that's more of the journey that happens in your 30s. I'm not sure, but that's my theory now. While I'm not arrived yet at that place, I've definitely seen more glimmers of it, especially in the last couple of years. So that's hopeful. Sometimes I feel like I'm still 15 and dealing with insecurities about whether or not people like me, or dealing with my value and my self-image and all of that stuff still, and that's a little disconcerting. Or even just trying to figure out who I am and what I want to do with my life. Some of those questions I feel like I should have already figured this out by the time I'm 30. And yet I'm still learning and discovering and changing so much. I am hopeful that that is part of turning 30, and that even if it's not like a switch that flips the day you turn 30, it's a shift in the way you're thinking and feeling that happens in your 30s to having more self-acceptance and confidence and a greater sense of purpose and being more self-assured and caring less about what people think. I also, in my 20s, I definitely wanted to have my own business and thought that by 30 I'd be really well established and successful in that. So far that hasn't happened, but that is a little bit discouraging, I would say. At the same time, I have to remind myself that at 20 I never could have foreseen my path to where I am now. I wouldn't have guessed that I would actually start 2 other businesses that didn't work out and a nonprofit. I couldn't have guessed that I would work full-time doing social media and blogging and managing a creative team and then being the editor of a magazine. I couldn't have guessed that all of that would be part of my career path also. And when I think about it, the way that I'm doing my business now with my blogging and organizing and the Minimalist Mama, I only rebranded in January. So it's really only been half a year since that happened. Actually, I think it was even later than that, like February. So maybe like 6 months that I've been doing the minimalist mama as it is today. So really, when I think about it, that takes quite a bit of the pressure off. And all the things that I've done in work and business, I do fully believe that none of that is wasted and that that is still valuable and is helping me now and will continue to help me in the future. I also, 10 years ago at the age of 20, we just moved to Arizona. At first I didn't think we would live there very long, and then I thought we might live there forever, and then I thought we would probably move to California next because I love the ocean. I never would have imagined moving to upstate New York, that is for sure. In the last 5 years or so, I thought, oh, maybe someday, like when we're retired or something, we'll move to upstate New York. Definitely didn't anticipate it happening by the time I was 30. That has been like a really positive surprise. Living on the East Coast in a small town that I really, really like. Family-wise, I thought probably by the time I was 30 I would have 3 kids, and I have 2. And honestly, those 2 keep me plenty busy. And I can't even fathom adding a 3rd one right now. I'd be fine with waiting on that one for a little bit. And really, I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to have met Brian at a really young age, to have gotten married at a really young age, and then have spent the last 10 years together and really kind of growing up together. And there's definitely been a lot of challenges associated with that too. I don't want to like sugarcoat that fact. So I do feel extremely fortunate in that. A lot has changed even in just the past couple years for me, in how I see life, just my perspective on life and faith and myself. And in some ways that's been hard and disconcerting, as it just seems like I'm discovering that the world is a lot more complicated than I used to think. Things are just not as black and white as they seemed to me before, and I think that's actually really good. Even with all the really tragic and hard things that have happened this year in 2020, I'm seeing a lot of good and positive too. A lot of people are really rising to the occasion and stepping up in really big ways and doing really courageous, brave, and admirable things that really reignites my faith and hope in humanity. With maturity, I feel like I've developed a lot more empathy, which is really good. Instead of before having such black and white thinking of every situation and issue, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been able to see more other people's perspectives and other sides of issues, and I'm not so threatened by that anymore. And that feels really good. I actually enjoy hearing other people's perspectives that I might not agree with, and really just accepting the fact that I could be wrong about things. I guess that's part of growing older and becoming more mature, is that the older I get, the more I realize how little I actually know, and that I very well could be wrong about things, and I guess I'm hopefully becoming more humble in that aspect. I still definitely have a lot of room to grow, I would say. There's a lot of areas in my life where I'm not where I want to be yet, especially like we were already talking about with being true to myself and self-confidence, and really figuring out what that means for me. That's a big goal of mine in the next 10 years. And also being a better friend. I really want to work on that and really cultivate new relationships and old relationships better than I have in the past in my 20s. In the past, when like I managed a team, or in the past when I've been on leadership positions, I feel like I tended to be really controlling and really have more of a my way is the only right way kind of an attitude, and think that I was better off doing things alone. And I really want to grow in that, to appreciate other people's perspectives and their ideas and what they bring to the table more. I want to keep growing and learning in my understanding of privilege, and the privileges that I've enjoyed, the privileges that aren't accessible to other people, and what I can do to bring about more justice in the world. Really just learning and educating myself more and what actions to take to use the privileges that I have enjoyed in a way that can benefit other people. I want to keep working through different mental or emotional blocks of like surrounding like creativity and fear of creating and being judged, not being accepted, money blocks, like fear of making money and having money. There's a whole lot of stuff in there that I really want to dig into more and work through in the next 10 years. And also just working on self-acceptance and validation, affirmation, not expecting that from other people. Not looking to other people so much for my sense of worth, but really feeling secure in that and looking to Christ for it and not other people. I really want to be at a place where I'm defining my worth by who I am inherently. I want to know my worth inherently and not based on my work or how productive I am or how successful I am, but really to be secure and really grounded in that truth that I am worthy and valuable, and it's not based on my performance. So that's a lot to strive for and keep working towards. But if the last 10 years have been any indication, you really never know what could happen. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on milestone birthdays, how you feel about them. Do you feel like there's a lot of expectations about where you should be by the time you reach certain things? And how do you deal with that? Hope you've enjoyed our little coffee and tea chat today. I look forward to chatting with you more in the comments down below.